Don't forget, if you enjoy these shows, give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel, and please follow me on X, the platform previously known as Twitter. So today I'm going to be talking about a few things related to radical leftist gender ideology, the complete absurdity that is radical leftist gender ideology. I'm also going to be talking a little bit about an update about the House Speaker's race, as well as the war that's going on in Israel. So there is your thumbs up reminder, and let me go ahead and get started. And thank you to whoever has given me a thumbs up here. So Dylan Mulvaney, who you are probably familiar with as the, from the whole Bud Light debacle and all that stuff, is, a man who identifies as a woman. And here is this LGBT magazine, Attitude Magazine, that says Dylan Mulvaney is our Woman of the Year, supported by Virgin Atlantic. And so there's a quote there that says, knowing that my community sees me this way and acknowledges my womanhood is all I need to keep going. Yeah, so this whole thing is ridiculous. Let me show you a clip of Mulvaney talking here.
So, no matter how hard I try, or what I wear, or what I say, or what surgeries I get, I will never reach an acceptable version of womanhood by those hateful people's standards. But as long as I have the queer community that sees me for my truth, I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah, so that's actually, that's true. There is no surgery you can get, or whatever he said there. There's no surgery, there's no makeup, there's nothing that a man can do to make himself a woman. And no, you will never be a woman. That's a fact. It's just reality. And the people that are promoting the radical leftist gender ideology are promoting non-reality. So yeah, that is true. Nobody can become a woman by doing anything. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. You cannot become the opposite sex. So I, on the Attitude Magazine thing, I responded with facepalm emojis and this gif of this person saying, well, she's a guy. So, it's like a funny response to the thing. And Attitude Magazine apparently did not appreciate my amusing and accurate post because I got blocked. So they blocked me there. Also, I will note that Fox News had this article, and I think it was about this actual topic about this Attitude Magazine thing and stuff. But look, the Fox News article uses the she, her female pronouns to refer to Mulvaney. You can say, it says, the influencer noted how grateful she was to receive. And then down here, it's like, Mulvaney also noted that she was glad to receive the award, blah, blah, blah. It helped her feel that she didn't have... So Fox News, people think Fox News is conservative, and compared to like MSNBC or something, it is. But this is the Fox News website anyway. On here, they're putting in these she, her pronouns, and this is not the first time they've done this. They do this. You'll see articles with them where they're talking about a man who's pretending to be a woman, and then they'll be using the woman pronoun, the female pronouns. So just FYI, yeah, Fox News doing that. All right, so this is along the same lines, talking about this topic. It has nothing to do with Dylan Mulvaney, but this is a Wisconsin state lawmaker, a Democrat, who basically said that it's selfish for people to not want males on female sports teams, school sports. We're talking about school sports here. There's this measure that I believe they were talking about that had to do with, blocking biological males from women's school sports, girls' school sports. And he basically says that people that don't want that are being selfish. Let me show you that clip.
The best we got was, well, some parents are concerned that their daughter might miss out on a scholarship. They might miss out on playing for this team or that team. Boy, that doesn't sound like community. That sounds like selfishness. I'm sorry to label it that way, but that sounds like what it is to me. I'm only worried about myself. I'm not worried about building the team and having my school have a powerful team.
So, yeah, if you're a parent who has a daughter and you don't want your daughter to have to go up against a man, or well, I should say, I guess a boy, in the school sports, because you want your daughter to get a scholarship or whatever the reason is, he's saying that's selfishness. Yeah, this whole thing is absurd. It's just so absurd. It's absurd that we're arguing about it, the school sports thing is ridiculous, but just the Dylan Mulvaney thing, everything is ridiculous. And I'm not done yet, because, let me skip over that. Here, we have the UN Women X, Twitter account, that doesn't know what a woman is, apparently, because They said, remember, trans lesbians are lesbians too. Let's uplift and honor every expression of love and identity. Happy International Lesbians Day. Now, I mean, this whole thing's a mess. I mean, because it's not like I don't support lesbianism. That's a sin. But it's also like I don't support the trans thing. So it's like, but they're like, So it's not like I'm trying to defend lesbians here or something. But a lesbian is a woman, who is homosexual with So there's like two women, right? So if you're a man, like a trans lesbian, that's a man who I'm assuming that's a man who identifies as a woman who wants to date women. That would be a heterosexual relationship. It's like a man pretending to be a woman. It's just the whole thing is crazy, totally crazy, bonkers, nuts. So yeah, that's that stuff. And so that's that. So let me move on to the other topic I was telling you. I'm going to tell you about an update on the House Speaker's race. So I talked about this process last week on the show. So we have some developments now. This week, what we had happen was House Majority Leader Steve Scalise basically won in a vote when the House Republicans voted, and they voted to nominate Steve Scalise as Speaker. But there was a lot of votes against him too. The vote was he defeated Jim Jordan 113 to 99. You can see on the C-SPAN tweet. Now, I believe there was also some other votes, and some votes for like others and present votes as well. I read that somewhere. But anyway, so the point is, most of the votes were for Jordan and Scalise wins, but not by a ton. But Scalise ended up basically announcing that he is going to drop out. He's going to drop out here.
I just share with my colleagues that I'm withdrawing my name as a candidate for the Speaker designee.
Now, yeah, the votes that he got was not nearly enough. If they had an actual House floor vote with Democrats, he would have needed way more support to actually clinch the actual speakership. So he ends up dropping out. And then this guy, who I'm not familiar with, Representative Austin Scott of Georgia, I believe it is, Georgia? Yeah. He announced on Friday that he is going to run for Speaker. And then on Friday, the House Republicans voted again, and then Jim Jordan defeated Austin Scott. And you can see there it says 124 to 81. So now Jordan has won. On Friday this happened. But, that's not enough support on an actual House floor. What we're talking about here is Republicans voting. But when they actually get in there with Democrats, who are obviously all going to vote for probably Hakeem Jeffries. So anyway, then what else happens? Okay, so then they had this other vote, this another vote, where it was like, okay, would you vote for Jordan on the House floor? So even though a bunch of people didn't vote to nominate him for speakership, there was this other vote, and then it went up a little bit because 152 people indicated that they would vote for him on the House floor. So I guess some of the people that didn't want to nominate him were like, okay, fine, we'll rally around him and so forth. But that's still way, way less than he would need to actually become Speaker. So to be continued. We'll see what happens next week. It's possible that Jordan won't be able to cobble together enough support to actually become Speaker either. Just to remind you, Trump had endorsed Jordan even before Jordan lost to Scalise originally. So, yeah, Trump is backing Jordan on that. But like I said last week on the show, Trump had also said that if they can't get it together, if the Republicans can't make a decision or rally around somebody, he would be willing to temporarily serve as Speaker. So if this mess keeps going on, could we end up seeing a Trump speakership possibly? That would certainly make for some interesting times in politics. We'll see what happens. But right now, still no speaker. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get one this week, and I can tell you. I mean, you'll probably hear it before you hear the show. But maybe next week on the show, I'll be talking about who the actual speaker is, or maybe not. We'll see what happens. Oh yeah, and I'll mention that after Austin Scott lost the vote to Jim Jordan, he said, "I highly respect Jim Jordan. He is an asset to the Republican Party and our nominee for Speaker. Our conference has spoken, and now we must unite behind Jordan so we can get Congress back to work." So he, quickly said he would support him. Also, in political news, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who had been running as a Democratic primary presidential candidate, announced this week that he is going to run as an independent. So, now he's out of the Democrat. I mean, Biden was going to win the Democratic primary anyway. He's already steamrolling Kennedy and Marianne Williamson in the polls. But, who will Kennedy draw support from? Will he draw support from the right, from the left? There's a couple things that people on the right like about Kennedy. I mean, I wouldn't vote for him. He's not conservative, but, he says good things about the border sometimes and stuff like that. But anyway, so that's something that'll shake up the the presidential election a little bit. Probably not too much because most people are not going to go for an independent candidate over a Democrat or Republican, but that's happened. Also, this guy, Cenk, I might be saying that, it might be Chink. Anyway, the guy, his name is like Cenk Uygur or something. I'm probably saying it wrong, but he's famous for being on the Young Turks. He's a progressive. This is like the progressive outlet, the Young Turks. He announced he's running for president as a Democrat. And basically, he wants Biden to drop out of the race. He thinks Biden's going to lose to Trump, and he doesn't think Biden's the right candidate for the Democrats. And he's saying he's running to win, but he's also basically saying he's running to get Biden to leave. He doesn't want Biden in the race. He wants to like sound the alarm that Biden's going to lose. And so let me show you a clip of him.
And now there's only 4 months left. We must change course. He has at best a 10% chance of winning. Donald Trump is an actual fascist. So I am running as a proxy. I'm running to win, but I'm also running as a proxy for any other candidate. We have got to get Biden out of the race. Thank you for winning in 2020. But if he loses this time around, it's not just his problem, it's all of our problems. I actually think democracy is on the line. And so if it takes me running, then that's what I'm gonna do. And we're all gonna do it together. And
okay, so yeah. I don't think this is actually going to necessarily change the outcome of the race, but it's something I just thought I would note. Yeah, so if he's running, he says he's running for president. Now, interesting problem with this scenario, and I guess I should say he definitely won't change the outcome of the race because of this. He is a naturalized citizen, right? He was not born in the U.S. Apparently, he described himself as a naturalized citizen, and the U.S. Constitution says, no person except a natural-born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible for the office of president. So, I don't think he would be eligible to run for president. He argues that he is not ineligible, and that he thinks it's not unconstitutional for him to run. But yeah, so I mean, he can't really run for president, and even if he could, he's probably not going to get that much support. But that's happening. And then there's the really sad news about Israel. You guys have probably been hearing about it. I've been writing about it a lot. Israel's at war after Hamas perpetrated these heinous atrocities, murdering civilians, murdering children, raping and murdering women. It's just, it's despicable, deplorable. I mean, heinous. It's just the stuff that's going on over there. And I'm just going to show you a clip of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a video that he put out that he was talking about what's going on over there. It's really horrific.
Hamas will understand that by attacking us, they've made a mistake of historic proportions. We will exact a price that will be remembered by them and Israel's other enemies for decades to come. The savage attacks that Hamas perpetrated against innocent Israelis are mind-boggling, slaughtering families in their homes, massacring hundreds of young people at an outdoor festival, kidnapping scores of women, children, and elderly, even Holocaust survivors. Hamas terrorists bound, burned, and executed children. They are savages. Hamas is ISIS. And just as the forces of civilizations united to defeat ISIS, the forces of civilization must support Israel in defeating Hamas.
All right, and over here, the Prime Minister of the office of the Prime Minister of Israel said that Netanyahu said, we are pounding our enemies with unprecedented force, and I stress this is only the beginning. Our enemies have only just begun to pay the price. And then down here, he said that where is it? We will obliterate Hamas. We will triumph, he said. So, yeah. So Israel is, at war basically after all this, after these terror attacks by Hamas and stuff. So, also, Representative Corey Mills of Florida, a Republican, has been helping get Americans and get people out of Israel. Because there were people. First of all, there were Americans killed in Israel, but also there's Americans stuck there and stuff, and he's helping get people out. He said if Biden's administration won't prioritize American lives, then I will step up and do his job for him. So yeah, he's helping get people out of there, which is good. And yeah, so that's quite a congressman there that actually helped get people out. So that's it for the news. This is not news, but it's news for this channel. I put out a little tour of my new house. So if you want to check that out, it's not a live video like I normally do every week. It's just a regular video on the regular video section. So you can go check that out and see a tour of my new house if you want. And also, in the background, I have background music that's music of me playing jazz guitar, jazzy guitar music. So if you enjoy jazz guitar or you want to see a tour of my new house, you can go check that video out. So thank you all for watching. And Robert G said while I was talking earlier, he said, still not a woman biologically. I'm assuming he's talking about the Dylan Mulvaney. That is correct. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. If you're a man, and you can't change it. You can't put on makeup. You can't get a surgery. That's it. So yeah, Robert G, thank you for your comment. And thank you everyone else for watching this episode of the show. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Follow me over on X, Twitter, and join me next week around 3:30 for another episode. Thank you everybody for watching. Bye-bye.